Several times a day, we have a choice of what to put at the center of our plate. But what if something came along that gave you the chance to go beyond the status quo and truly choose for the future? By increasing plant-based food consumption, you are focused on the single most powerful tool our global society has to take control over our health, preserve our planet, and support the welfare of the rest of life on this beautiful earth.
You might have seen their ads, in fact, on our air even, the group launching a full-fledged campaign.
Beyond Meat is under attack.
Are you getting funding from publicly traded meat companies? I mean, who's backing you now?
We don't publicly disclose our donors.
The meat lobby wants to make plant-based meat less attractive to consumers. They're afraid their industry is going to be disrupted.
The whole quest around Beyond Meat is to build a perfect piece of meat. And it wasn't to try to build a meat alternative, it was to try to build meat directly from plants. Our ethos is relentless improvement. And when it comes to health, we worked most closely with Stanford School of Medicine. They were showing the quantifiable outcomes you can get from changing the protein center plate from animal to plants. Just in 8 weeks, we were lowering cardiovascular risk factors.
Today I'm going to share with you a study done at Stanford University that actually put Beyond Meat to the test. TMAO was significantly lower compared to the animal meat condition. LDL cholesterol was also significantly lower in the Beyond Meat.
I'm super excited to bring you the Beyond Meat burger. I think this could be the future of meat.
It's really good, like, wow.
In 2020, more than 50% of the population felt that plant-based meat was good for their health. By 2022, that number was down about 38%.
The American beef producers are following a very similar playbook to the tobacco industry of undermining science and of creating counter-narratives that suggest that plant-based products are somehow harmful. Their concern is that plant-based meats will begin to eat into their sales and harm their profits.
Whenever there's been dramatic change, there's always been incumbents that are going to resist it. It's predictable. The meat industry is one of the most established industries in the world. There's no surprise that they're going to want to protect the status quo.
We faced a fundamental choice, and that was to either bang our fists on the table and exclaim the health benefits of our products, or to take a look inward and say, how do we make our products even healthier? How do we make them unassailable from a health perspective? We worked with leading medical and nutrition experts and spent years designing this latest product generation, Beyond 4.
One of the underappreciated aspects of plant-based meat alternatives is that we can reformulate them. You can't do that with a cow.
The new formulation of the Beyond Burger really impressed us in our evaluation.
They're now putting in heart-healthy avocado oil. It has a simple list of ingredients. It's 21 grams of protein.
Their protein sources are extremely healthful food. Peas, lentils, brown rice, faba beans. When you cook meat, as soon as you get heat combined with the creatinine in meat, it equals highly carcinogenic compounds forming. When you grill, saute, or barbecue a Beyond Meat burger, you're not making any appreciable carcinogens.
It's about 2/3 of 12 to 14-year-olds in the US have very early signs of cholesterol disease.
Replacing a saturated fat with an unsaturated fat. There's an obvious blood cholesterol benefit.
Cardiovascular disease is the thing that kills most people in the US and the UK. And one of the big challenges is getting the public down to healthier levels.
Beyond Meat plays a pivotal role in helping people make healthy lifestyle changes. In really good faith, I can recommend to patients, when you have that craving for burgers, go eat the Beyond Meat.
So the process starts at the farm, and I'll explain this in the context of our steak. So our steak uses fava bean as a protein. The farmer plants the crop. The crop is harvested. Then it's milled. The flour is placed in an air chamber, and because the density and size of protein and starch are different, they naturally separate. We then take the protein, blend it with wheat, and we run it through heating, cooling, and pressure to restructure the form of that protein into animal muscle. We then mix in natural flavors. We mix in natural colors from carrots and apples. We add in oil. That's the process behind Beyond Steak.
That's the moneymaker right there, them nodules, right? That's why we're doing it. I'm not a food scientist and I'm not a food innovator, but I do know that having red lentils on this farm has made a big difference for me. And I know that they've made a big difference for agriculture in general across Montana and the Northern Plains. These pulse crops, yellow peas, red lentils, are extremely friendly to the environment. We don't have to use the synthetic fertilizer that we often use in other crops, and they don't need as much water.
It's about creating more opportunity for the farmers. We saw less wind erosion. We saw nitrogen fertilizer back into the soil. It's created a better opportunity for the whole region.
The return on investment has been probably 25% higher than any of the other crops that we would replace it with.
The introduction of pulse crops has actually encouraged some younger folks to come back. They saw that I can make it. I can start a family and be a farmer.
In 1971, Frances LePay published a book called Diet for a Small Planet. And the argument she was making was that by getting your proteins and your energy directly from plants versus running all that plant material through an animal, you can dramatically shrink the agricultural footprint, and you can size the agricultural footprint in a way that allows the rest of life on Earth to live.
What we've done over a really long period of time is that we've basically turned a lot of the world into a large farm.
Something like 3/4 of the world's agricultural land is for livestock products.
That didn't used to be there. That used to be wild habitats.
Through history, everything is marshaled towards the idea of replacing those wild lands with farming and livestock raising empire. Wiping out all the bison, all the wolves, coyotes, obliterating them.
Cattle not only use a huge amount of land, they produce a great deal of methane. And methane is a particularly potent greenhouse gas. For us to solve climate change, beef consumers have to consume less. Not none, but less. Of course, one opportunity to do that is to persuade people there's an alternative.
We use significantly less land, significantly less water, and have far fewer greenhouse gas emissions than the animal protein equivalent. Focus on that one statistic for one moment. The current Beyond Burger uses 97% less land. What that does is it frees up an enormous amount of land to be able to put that land back into nature. And in that process, you're taking carbon out of the atmosphere and you're storing it in those ecosystems.
One of the really cool opportunities, I think, for cattle ranchers is, get them to change their mindset from being livestock producers to carbon ranchers.
Farming families should be embraced as among the strongest fabric of our communities, including those families in animal agriculture. We should be paying farmers, redirecting subsidies to not only grow food, but to become stewards of climate.
Plenty of places in the world, farmers have been paid to restore their farms to some kind of habitat.
We've done this throughout history. If you look at world wars where we repurposed industries to fight battles, we have a battle and it's a climate battle. Let's use them to fight it.
If the world was to shift to a plant-based diet, we could feed everyone on 1 billion hectares.
And if enough of us do that, then we'll stop converting land altogether and we'll be able to save the Amazon. And if we go even beyond that, we can then restore forests and other natural landscapes.
With really ambitious action, natural carbon sequestration could play a really crucial and really large role in us meeting our climate targets.
If I can leave you with one thing, it is this. You fearlessly confront the questions of our time and refuse to go numb in defeat. There is truly hope and a path forward in eating closer to the sun. There is personal bodily health, there is a future for our planet and the miracle of life we share it with, and there's kindness. So let's go get it.